Hi there, this is Lindsay from Lindsay King Modern Photography and Bella Sheet Creative Photoshop Actions, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about sorting your images. So the very first part of this, and the reason that I have decided to do this little tutorial, is because I purchased a new camera, and you know what it's like when you get a new camera. It's like, I don't know, very close to having another child. Not exactly the same, but really close. That level of excitement is so high, you can't wait to see how far you can push it, what you can do with it. So I go out, I take all these test images, not the ones that are on your screen now, but a different set of test images, and I get so pumped. I bring them back to my PC. On my PC I have CS5, Lightroom 5, and Elements 11, I believe. On my Mac I have CS6, but I only use my Mac for the most part when I'm traveling. So right now, because I'm not traveling and I am back in Michigan at home, I'm using my desktop. And CS5 is a great program. So I go to put these images into CS5, and Adobe Camera Raw does not recognize the format because the camera is new and there is no update for it. So I'm thinking, but before I realized there was no update, I'm thinking, okay, so I need to update my CS5. Well, unfortunately, I can't update CS5. I don't know if it's because now Adobe is more interested in kind of pushing people into the Creative Cloud mode or what it is exactly. I only know that I cannot open up my raw files from my Nikon D600 in CS5, which honestly ticks me off. When you pay $500 or $600 for an editing program, you do expect it to be able to open up your raw files. But hey, who am I to complain? So I had to find a way around it. The way that I found around it, now this is just for CS5 and under. I have actually not even tried to open up any raw files yet in CS6 on my Mac because my Mac is tucked away nicely in my laptop bag. But so for those of you who don't have that option to go to CS6, this is what I want to show you. If you have Lightroom, then you probably will be good to go with this option. So what I'm doing now, it's a little bit more lengthy, but in the long run, it's really not such a big deal. I'm importing all of my new images, my new raw files into Lightroom first, and then I'm sorting them in here instead of sorting them in Bridge. Is it a pain? Yes, it is, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So the first thing that I do is I go through, and I'm not going to sort this whole session with you, but I go through and I give my images a star rating. So if this is an image that I absolutely know for sure I must add to this client's collection, then I'm going to give it a 5. If I'm pretty sure that I'm going to add it, I give it a 4. If I'm not really sure, I give it a 3. That face. Okay, and I'm actually going to give that a 5 because that kid cracks me up. So if I don't know, or if I definitely don't want to do anything with it, then I just skip it and I don't mark it at all. So I go through just like so, just like this, and I give them a star rating. So then what we are going to do is we want to go down here to the grid view, and I'm going to go to attribute, and I want everything that is we'll say 3 or higher. So that leaves me with these images here. What I want to do from here, because I love Lightroom, but I do 95% of my processing in Photoshop. So what I want to do now is I want to export a file that will go into Photoshop, but that still gives me room to move and use Adobe Camera Raw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to I'm going to go to File, Export. Now, I want to export these into the original folder, but into a new folder. So put in subfolder, and first I want to make sure that I am in the right folder here. So we're just going to go to this, select folder. Now I'm going to put these in a new folder, which is going to be sorted in Lightroom. The next thing that you want to do is you want to scroll down a little bit. If you want to rename them, you can rename them, but you don't really need to rename them. And then I want to go to File Settings. How do you want to export this? I personally do not want to export this as a JPEG because I feel like it doesn't give me enough room if I need to make any major corrections for my exposure or my white balance. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to export it as a DNG, just like so. And then everything else is good to go. I'm going to hit Export, and this will export for me. And these are going to be very large files. And then I'm going to show you what's going to happen. We're going to go into our folder here, and there it did. It just gave me a new folder. Oh, whoops, it looks like I made a mistake. I only exported this one. You actually want to go to select all before you go to your export option. Now, when I open up Photoshop CS5, and I'm going to open it right now to show you, it's going to allow me to open that file in there and still use Adobe Camera Raw. So this will open up in just a second. We just have to be a little bit patient. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to File, Open, and here, and then here, and then here, Open, and now it's going to open out for me, and I will be able to use Camera Raw. So very simple, make my little adjustments that I need to make. Get those all tweaked and taken care of. Gonna add a little fill light, but that's the process. An open image, and then you can edit from there. So if you have a camera that you have recently purchased and the file format is no longer working for your version of Photoshop, if you are blessed to have Lightroom, this is kind of an alternate way to go ahead and sort those images still, basically like using Bridge, and then export them to an additional folder. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.